Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. In this video, I'm going to be playing a little bit of Combat Mission Beyond Overlord. I've been kind of doing a tour of the original trilogy since it recently got re-released with some updates on Steam. And this is the first Combat Mission game. So if you don't know, Beyond Overlord was the original game that came out. And I decided since I was going back to the very beginning, I would look it up what was one of the first scenarios available to play. So the demo for this game originally came out in 1999, so it's 26 years ago. It had the original demo had two scenarios on it, and this is one of the two scenarios, and you can still play it. So I figured it'd be fun to kind of go back to the very beginning for this video. This is the scenario Riesberg, where it is in April 1945, so it's almost the end of the war. It's a fictional scenario where you got an infantry company, a platoon of Shermans, and some supporting weapons, and we're moving through Germany, capturing these various towns, and then of course this town, the Germans are going to mount a resistance and try to hold on to it. So it's going to be our job to move into the town, secure the objectives, and then, at least in terms of the scenario, to push through down the road. But our guys don't know that they're going to run into some resistance here. And then our only reinforcements is one more platoon of infantry coming up behind us, so it'll add a little bit more manpower, but we're not expecting much more than what we have here on the map. We've also got a 105mm artillery spotter in here somewhere, hiding, so that could be pretty useful if we run into a strong point in one of these buildings. We could hammer it with that. But I thought it would be fun to just go back and play like one of the very first scenarios you could possibly play for the Combat Mission series, which now has, I don't know, 12 or 15 games and thousands of scenarios that have been made across the various games. But this is where it all started, so I thought it'd be fun to play it. So I'm going to take 1 second, kind of figure out my strategy, and then we'll get started. Alright, so after looking it over a little bit, I'm going to go with a mostly straightforward plan. So I have, like I said, I got 4 platoons of infantry, I've got a platoon of Shermans, so 4 Shermans, and then I've got kind of a smattering of machine guns, mortars, bazookas, all that kind of good stuff, with one more platoon of infantry due to show up at some point. I don't know exactly when. So my plan is the main force here in the middle. I didn't move anything from their default starting positions because it was kind of just all a line along here. This will be my main assault force, so it's 2 of the platoons plus 3 of the Shermans, along with plenty of supporting weapons. They're going to move straight ahead, and I'm going to roleplay it just a little bit since the scenario is basically that they don't expect resistance because none of the previous villages have had any resistance. So they're going to be just kind of cautiously moving towards the town, and we know we'll run into some firepower at some point, but there's plenty of cover here on both sides of the road and these ditches with trees and stuff, so they should have some decent cover to kind of move forward as they move towards the town. This platoon on the left is going to move up kind of to here to this line of thick woods and provide supporting fire for these guys, so if they can't see straight ahead due to all the foliage here, these guys will have clear line of sight from here, hopefully, to kind of fire into these front buildings in the town. And they've got at least one machine gun plus mortars in there plus the riflemen. They can kind of move up to here and give some supporting fire, and then later move up. But they can't be too aggressive since there's not a whole lot of cover. This is kind of lighter cover here, a long way for them to move up to get to the town. So they'll be kind of support fire while they move up. And then these guys on the right flank, they're going to be kind of, we'll see how it goes. But we're going to move them, which actually I probably need to load the mortar guy onto the tank first. There's some infantry riding back there. But they are going to move, since there's kind of a little ridge here, zoom in, you can see it easier. They're going to do a little flanking move, and they're going to move over here on the right, where the Germans can't see them at all, and then kind of pop up over here on the right. And my thinking is, since the village here, it's kind of all the buildings are in nice, neat little rows. If there is a bunch of fire coming from the front here, they can move up along the edge and kind of pick it apart from one end without being exposed to the whole thing. And then either, depending on how it's going, they could turn and move into the town somewhere along here, kind of by this little pond where there's a low spot, move into the town there, or if things are going okay, they can just keep kind of picking their way along this right flank. Mainly, I want to get that tank in position where it can kind of fire into the back lines of the Germans. There's these 2 big buildings back here. I feel like they're probably going to have some machine guns or something in them, so get a little closer to them with that tank to hammer those. and then the infantry kind of scooting through here. We'll see how they do. Maybe they'll be far enough away that they're not taking too much fire, but it might not work. But kind of move bound from cover to cover, and then if they can get into this here, either they're eliminating what's over there, and if they get into this heavy force, then kind of curve in there towards the back objectives, while of course the front attack is going on. So we'll see how that turns out, but that's kind of my general idea. I could have them just move forward with the main attack, but that's not very imaginative. To just everyone move straight ahead, that's no fun. So we'll have one little curveball there, see how it goes. All right, let's lay some orders, and we'll do this first turn. All right, so I got all the move orders. Just kind of do a little initial move forward into position, and then we'll hit go. So it's a 30-turn scenario, so not super long. We don't have a lot of time to work with, but a decent amount. But we do need to be a little aggressive since we've got a lot of objectives to take before it's over. Gonna load the mortar on the tank so he doesn't get tired walking away all the way across the map. While the infantry they can walk a little easier, regular guys. And then holding back here the 105mm spotter since we don't want him to get shot for sure. And then this 50 cal machine gun here. Gonna let it hang back just for a second. Not sure if he has good line of sight there or not, but we'll check that at the end of the turn. Okay, so initial turn, no side, nothing sighted, no one attacking us. You can see some of those buildings up there. He'll stay there at least until I get these guys in position. This platoon on the left where they can provide some covering fire with their machine gun. Let's leave him there. And then he'll probably get tired too, so he can't move very aggressively. Just kind of move him up a little bit. And then, yeah, nothing spotted. We'll let the infantry kind of catch up with the tanks and move forward first, since we don't want to get ambushed by a random Panzerfaust or something in one of these trees. And over here, we'll just add this move order. And then you can turn this on where you see all the lines. It's not as pretty, but that way, don't forget to move somebody. All right, we'll go on to the next turn. Oh, well, there's some shooting happening somewhere. Alright, so we're taking some fire. Uh-oh. Alright, so there's an enemy gun way down there, which we probably should have anticipated. We lost a mortar, like they took a direct hit. Alright, so we're taking some artillery or something. Another gun way over there. Got to hope our Shermans can take it out, since otherwise nothing else can touch them right now. Alright, they took a ricochet, but they're still in it. Who's gonna win this duel right here? Okay, so that got spicy real fast. I tried turning on, actually I've never turned this on before, but one of the hotkeys turns on warning labels, which now I can't even remember which button it was. I was going through and testing out all the settings because I couldn't remember what all of them were. Let's see if it's... Yeah, so you can turn on warning labels and then you can actually see, like these guys are shaking, this is eliminated, which is pretty useful, actually. I don't think I've ever played with that on before. So, alright, there was one gun there, which we should have probably totally expected. They'd have a gun pointed right down the road, but we did take it out, so that was good. And then over here, there is another gun that is still in the action despite taking some near misses. So in World War II, yeah, those anti-tank guns are pretty dangerous for our tanks. Let's maneuver this one over to help. Want to kind of do it carefully. Actually, No, let's cancel that. We will reverse. That makes a lot more sense. Reverse and then move up so that it can help that tank, hopefully. And then between the two of them, one will eliminate that gun. This tank's doing okay. And then... Oh, maybe this was the crew from our mortar? Crew from something. They've run away. No, these guys were... I think they took like a direct artillery hit. They're just gone. And this is the crew of something else, but they're shaking and running away. And then over here, these guys are making it for the moment. We'll wait till they kind of get the tank caught up there. These guys just go ahead and keep moving forward. Likewise, these guys, they've got some cover at least, and it seems like they're taking artillery fire where they're at, so they might as well move up. And this squad, they've spotted some enemy infantry they're shooting at, so we'll leave them in position since they've got something to shoot at. And then these guys are still moving up. Here, they have some line of sight. Yep, so we'll have them move up right to the edge of these trees. And then they've got kind of the smaller trees in front of them. I'll see if how much that blocks their line of sight. But our machine gun, they're in a good spot. They can see an infantry squad right there, so that's perfect. And then we have our mortar here, which they can't see anything from where they are, so they can move up and join the machine gun. And in this original combat mission, like where these trees are doesn't actually matter, as long as they're in a space that says like heavy tall pines or whatever. Like they're getting the benefit of being in that cover. Where in the newer combat mission games, the trees are actually like simulated, so if you see the tree, that's where the tree is. In this one, it doesn't matter that much. Or all that matters is they're in like the space that has that graphic on it. And then our heavy machine gun back here. You can't see a whole lot where they're at exactly. So I might have them move up. We'll have them move up and join our support element over here. Probably make the most sense. Okay, let's go ahead and go. Keeping an eye on that gun up there. Ooh, another ricochet. Oh, it came right up at the camera. I always like those effects when you see the shell flying off into the sky. Another ricochet. Alright, ooh, eliminated. Alright. So we came out of that pretty good. Our late war Sherman. It's a M4A3W+. If you're an aficionado, you'll know. But that's basically our later war Shermans. Perfect for this situation. We can see there are Germans running around in town. Ooh, there is a squad anti-tank team right there. So it's good we didn't roll straight ahead. We'll let our infantry go first and clear the way up. We've got a nice firefight developing here, but the boys are in position where we want them, so things are going all right. Like a machine gun dug in right there on that building. Keep thinking, what are these guys? But maybe they were the crew from that mortar, and it's eliminated because they ran away from it. I'm really not sure. Oh well, doesn't really matter. And then they gather themselves, they can still go help. Alright, so this tank is moving a little slow over here, taking sweet time. That's alright. We'll go ahead and have these infantry start moving up a little more. Actually, I'll have this one just move up to there. And thanks to the lay of the land here, they should be perfectly safe, as long as there's not random Germans like right over here. And then, yeah, we'll go one more turn, just advancing. Oh, our 50 cal did not make it out of his starting spot. He's already pinned down, so maybe he'll just hang out there. Now I've got that 105 millimeter artillery. Right, this area here might be a good target to get started with it. There are some Germans in the woods right here. Now that that gun's knocked out, I can probably maneuver these two tanks right here to provide some support fire directly ahead. Okay, so yeah, these guys, this 50 cal team, did not make it out of its starting spot, so we'll have them just turn around and stay where they are for now. Provide some cover fire if they see something. We'll have these two Shermans move up over here into this kind of clear vector where they can just fire straight ahead, since there seem to be plenty of targets up there for them to shoot at. And this one, I'm going to have it use the hunt command, if it has it. Oop, there it is. Just to move up, not too far, a little bit up the road, while these guys move up. Try to engage with the Germans that are straight ahead. This squad's in a little more exposed position since there's like a little ditch here. So I have them just stay put while these squads move up to engage those Germans. And then this one, they can't quite see anything to shoot at, so I'm gonna have them just move behind the infantry. Platoon HQ needs to move up because they're out of contact. These guys, they can see a fair amount where they're at, so they could just stay where they're at. .105 spotter, he's still back here. Artillery in the original game is pretty straightforward. Anything bigger than your on-map mortars is going to have just a spotter that spots for it, and then however much ammo he has, that's what he can do. And then you basically just have target wide, or smoke. It just depends on how you want to use that. And I could have him fire some just into the general area of town, but I think, oops, no, actually don't want to do that. Cancel target. I'm gonna have him go over here and just move up this way. You can be close to the company HQ back here. And then maybe a target will present itself at some point. These guys are still trotting along just fine over here. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. Front is doing okay without them, so alright, let's hit go. We're on turn 5 out of 30, so still got a fair amount of time. Okay, so they're providing a little cover fire. Good. Yeah, so I'm thinking they can kind of hammer those guys from the flank, give some supporting fire to the main attack. Artillery coming in, looks like. Okay, so nothing big happening there, just kind of moving in position. Gonna keep the pressure up, keep pushing them. This squad can see that there's like a machine gun there, so maybe we'll maybe actually have our Sherman move up and see if from there we can target that, and we'll have these guys get off, since we don't want them to get hit hanging out on the back of the tank. And also have these infantry sneak up a little more. Headquarters move up a little more. Kind of check in. Guys are already shooting at things. I don't want them to move too much. Our guys on the left flank aren't getting a whole lot of action. Machine gun is helping a little bit. I don't want to rush them over there because I don't want to get too bunched up. But it's also a little tricky to move to the left because there's some sparse cover. It's not great. But maybe we'll have... They got 2 Shermans right there to support. I think I will have them shift left. With the goal of moving up through these trees and bushes, kind of close with this side of town. They got 2 Shermans backing them up, plus machine gun, mortar. They should be okay. And a 50 cal way back there. Which they'll get to move up eventually, surely. Okay, we'll go with that. Main thing is to identify those machine gun positions and try to knock them out with the tanks, which is what we're doing now. Germans pulling back from the front line. This guy, he spotted that machine gun, hitting it. That one looks like they're covered, they're suppressed. They're not knocked out yet. So just have those tanks stay where they're at because they are getting some good work done. And yeah, I think I'll have these guys just kind of pick their way up through here. And if they can close with the enemy, if they can pick their way up through here and get in these woods, I think that would be perfect. These guys, yeah, shift left, move up. This Sherman's not spotting anything, so I'm gonna have them use the hunt command to just kind of creep forward, see what they see. Then these squads, since now we've kind of suppressed those machine guns that were shooting at them, have everybody move forward some more. Have our spotter move up since it seems to be safe enough. I'll have this crew, I think it'd be their escorts. This little element back here. Up to there. 50 cal, dare I move it again. Yes. Move them up here into those trees to replace what we're shifting out of there. Alright, let's go ahead. On to turn 7. Germans, yeah, they got plenty of rounds. Yeah, they started with 68, almost 70 high explosive rounds, so they've got dozens of shots to go, plus their machine guns. Brave guys way out in the open over there. Decided to take a few shots and then run for it. This machine gun team proving difficult to destroy because they're in that heavy building, but taking fire from a lot of positions, so ought to be able to keep their heads down. They're still firing away. Company headquarters took casualty, of course. That building's heavily damaged, so we've pounded away at it enough. It's could come down on them. This building is damaged. Gonna keep hitting it. I wonder. Well, 60mm mortar's not gonna do much good against that building. But just to try to maybe do some more damage to it. They're not going to be, can't take them out directly, we just take down the building around them. And then we can't move these guys any further forward while there's a machine gun shooting right at them. And I do wonder, my spotter, these are actually the yellow ones are like the light buildings, now that I think about it. And these are the heavier buildings back here. They're like red brick, I think. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. But that church looking building will be hard to take down, so maybe that'll be a good job for our artillery. Alright, I'm gonna go one more turn, just see if we can knock out those machine guns before we make any big moves. Those guys are on the run. Their fault for running out in the open in the first place. Ooh, yeah, there goes that building. I like the old school like shockwave effects. They're pretty good. And you might notice if you'd watched the videos of the other combat mission, Barbarossa to Berlin and Africa Corps, it definitely had a little upgrade to the graphics, and the UI is more detailed. That building gone too. Alright, so yeah, that's what you guys get for hanging out on the second floor while you're taking so much fire and not running away. The building just comes down around you. Now, of course, there are some enemies in the church there. Classic place to hold up. That would definitely be a target for our heavy artillery. Need to get him into position all the way up there. Alright, he can run a little bit. He's not carrying too much gear. Guys see, yes, they seem to be able, if he can just needs to be able to see the top of that building, really. Maybe. Alright. Have him run there and then move up there. He's gonna be a little exposed, but if we just get him in that spot where he can direct some artillery on one of these buildings back here, that would be just dandy. Now this machine gun is definitely knocked out. Start moving up here. I think we'll move at least up to there and then see what it looks like. If there's enemies back there, I might have these guys, this element, focus on taking out whatever's in these buildings. And if there's not, then they can just move into town. I don't want them to be too bunched up there. And my favorite, the hunt command a little bit more. Haven't spotted, I don't want to jinx it. I'm not even going to say it. Okay, I'll say it. Haven't spotted another AT gun yet, so maybe there were just the two, but we'll see. And there's also the potential, I don't know anything about if the enemy might have reinforcements. Kind of why I have this tank sitting on the road in case like reinforcements pop up down there at the other end of the road. They can directly engage. But we will have them move forward a little bit more, just staying a little behind the front of our infantry line. And everybody here, leapfrog forward. Have them move up a little closer, maybe they can finally finish off. They're gonna spend like all their rounds trying to take out this one machine gun team. Then, yeah, too close to use the mortar on those guys. Haven't had any good targets from our mortars yet, but that's okay. Now these guys are in position. I'm gonna have them run just because they're going across some open terrain here. But I don't want them to land in open ground. .50 cal. They're almost to those trees and they've been spotted by that infantry squad way over there. Give the tanks a direct order to fire on that building there since they haven't spotted those infantry yet. Guys also moving up. Sometimes the top-down view can be useful. Then I will move in there and finish off those Germans. Right, we're on turn 9. We're not into the town yet, but we've at least hit the front defensive line and wiped it out pretty much. Start pushing into the second line and then actually get into the town. There's at least a couple infantry squads in there. But it's nice that we have an entire platoon of Germans on our side to blast away at those buildings. So a little Panzerfaust or Panzerschreck flying out of that building. Little anti-tank team in there. Run, guys, run.